Hey everybody, today we have the game of ethics. It says apply your personal principles to 30 fascinating human situations. As your convictions are judged by the other players, you defend and explain your position. Each player in turn faces a different hypothetical situation. It is an engrossing game of self-expression on the timeless question of ethics. Ethics. The game of ethics, easy to follow instructions booklet included a brief say on ethics, 30 human situation cards, 12 modifier cards, 2 scoring pads. Ethics, ethics, ethics. Face a fascination human situation. Make a moral choice, challenge and be challenged. Defend your principles. Hey, the game of ethics. Golly. Who's more ethical in this epic cool game of ethics? Ethics. So basically, what you have in this game is ethical quotient. Rounds, situations, ethical quotient score, situation score. You got scorecards. You got these modifier cards. Situation 2, 3, 15, 17, 19, 25, and 30. Your doctor has just told you that you have less than years to live. Situation 1, 7, 10, 11, 13, 18, and 20. You have just won 500,000 in your state lottery. Card for situation 3, 7, 8, 23, 24, and 27. Your spouse and or family will also have to bear the consequences of your decision. Modifier card for situation 9, 10, 13, 22. If you have been resisting retirement, believing you have years of useful service left in you. However, a failure or mistaken judgment now can increase the pressure to the point where you have to retire. Modifier card for situation 3, 5, 17, 19, 24, and 26. You are a devout believer in a religion which forbids the taking of life. Modifier card for situation 2, 9, 15, 16, 18, 19, 21, 25, and 29. Assume that you were in prison for a crime you did not commit and released only after the real criminal confessed. Modifier card for situation 2, 10, 14, 18, 23, and 25. You are deeply in debt. So you have situations. Oh wait, there's more. Modifier cards for 1, 4, 14, 21, 30. Says you are under consideration for the top job in your chosen profession. Fire card 1, 8, 12, 16, 22, and 27. If you are white, assume that you are now black. If you're black, assume that you are now white. Ooh, a race question. Modifier card for situation 5, 6, 11, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 26, and 29. Assume that you are now the opposite sex. Ooh, a sexist question. Modifier card for situation 4, 14, 20, and 28. You are opposed to the law in question. Do you obey the law just because you're opposed to it, or do you disobey it just because you're opposed to it? Good question. Modifier card for situation 6, 12, 22, and 28. Assume that you could carry out your decision anonymously or at least without public knowledge. Anyway, here's an instruction for the game of ethics. Ethics. The word and the concept are very much a part of our daily experience. This is a copyright 1971 game, so this is a vintage game. In a changing world, we are no longer content to let authority figures dictate our ideas of right and wrong. Instead, there is a need to find ways of judging these things for ourselves, and so the idea of ethics. Ethics can be defined as a system of principles which deals with the values of human conduct. To say that a given action is morally good or bad is to make an ethical judgment. To distinguish the good or bad intentions behind the action is also an exercise in ethical judgment. Whether we talk of or personal ethics or the agreed upon ethical code of a group or society. We are talking of the same thing. An attempt to define right and wrong in ways that make sense to us. The concept of ethics developed as man reflected on the reasons for his actions and their consequences. Philosophers as different as Plato, Spinoza, Kant, and Albert Schweitzer have attempted to provide backgrounds for ethical choice. There have been systems of ethics based on the authority of a religion or an innate moral sense of man or the welfare of the state. The approaches are varied, but their aims are basically the same: to enable man to sharpen his moral perceptions to the point where he can make decisions which at least approximate the absolute good, in the hope that this game will provide a kind of perceptual grindstone. We give you the game of ethics. Ethics is a game of hard ethical choices. As a player, you are projected into situations that range through the spectrum of human experiences. Faced with difficult decisions, you must choose a course of actions, defend it or modify it, and finally face the judgment of your peers. In setting as different as a supermarket and a concentration camp, In settings as different as a supermarket and a concentration camp, you explore your own concepts of right and wrong and those of other players. Ethics is a game that could change the way you see yourself and the world around you. The game of ethics consists of 30 situational cards, 12 modifier cards, ethical quotient pad, situation score pad, instruction booklet. All players should read complete instructions before they play. The game of ethics, up to 8 may play. Here's how you play. Here we go. I'm going to read the situations. If you want to comment down below which one you would pick, A, B, C, or D, go ahead. It's up to you. But please comment which situation you are referring to. By the way, you're in charge of programming for a major television network. In the fiercely competitive world of broadcasting, your career hangs on each new season's ratings. With 3 new shows under consideration for the last open half hour for the fall lineup, do you? And those are 4 choices. You can read the rest yourself. Situation 2. Oops. I meant to put these in backwards. It wasted space. They could have put 1 and 2 on back and back of each other, but okay. Also, it has a little statement. I forgot to read the statement from a philosopher. H.L. Mencken. No man ever went broke under estimating the taste of the American public. Plato. If a man had a magic ring which enabled him to escape detection and so avoid punishment, would he be under any obligation to be just? Situation 2. While traveling in Europe, you win a large sum of money at a gambling casino. You do not have to reveal your name in order to collect your winnings, do you? What do you do? Situation 3. Samuel Butler said, self-preservation is the first law of nature. In the last months of the war, you have been put in charge of a Nazi concentration camp. You have been ordered to kill all the prisoners before they can be liberated. You have stalled, hoping the Allied armies will overrun the camp. Now you are out of time. Either you order the prisoners killed or you face extinction yourself. Do you? I like how B has other choice and you answer it yourself. Gospel according to St. John. He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone. Situation 4. As a judge, you have been scheduled to preside over the trial of a man charged with the possession and use of marijuana. Before your appointment to the bench, you had experiment with marijuana yourself. Do you? What do you do? What do you? You should have had plenty of time to be able to pause or whatever so that you can answer the question. General Omar N. Bradley. The world has achieved brilliance without conscience. Ours is a world of nuclear giants and ethical infants. Situation 5. In 1945, and you are President of the United States, Germany has surrendered, but Japan continues to fight a bloody last-ditch war. America has the atomic bomb. You must decide whether to use it, and if so, how do you? Alfred Adler. The truth is often a terrible weapon of aggression. Situation 6. You dislike your brother-in-law intensely. Although your sister loves him, you believe she would be better off without him. By accident, you learn he is carrying on an affair with another woman. Do you? Thomas Jefferson said, to compel a man to furnish contributions of money for the propagation of opinions which he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. Taxation is theft. Situation 7. As a devout Roman Catholic, you believe that abortion is the same as murder. Your state has repealed its law against abortion. Some part of your taxes will now go for free abortions for the poor in state hospitals. Do you? Oliver Wendell Holmes says, it is required of a man that he share the action and passion of his time at peril or being judged not to have lived. Situation 8. Although you believe the war in Vietnam to be immoral, you have been denied conscientious objector status. You get your draft notice. Do you? What do you do? Cercio. When you have no basis for argument, abuse the plaintiff. Situation 9. You are a lawyer with a client you know to be guilty. You discover that the chief witness against your client had spent time in a mental institution. Exploiting this knowledge in cross-examination will help your client's case, but it could destroy the witness emotionally. Do you? What do you do? Albert Einstein said, perfection of means and confusion of goals seems to characterize our age. Situation 10. Technology has made it possible for you as owner of a factory to automate most of your operations. This will result in products of better quality at lower prices. Your profits should also increase considerably. However, you will have to reduce your labor force by 2/3. Do you? Thomas Malthus said, the power of population infinitely greater than the power of the earth to produce substance for man. Situation 11. You love children and would like to have a large family. You know, however, that scientists have predicted a population crisis within 50 years that could leave most of the world at starvation level. Do you? The U.S. Supreme Court separate educational facilities are inherently unequal. Therefore, we hold that those segregated are deprived of the equal protection of the laws. Situation 12. You have been active in the civil rights movement for most of your life. You have fought school segregation with some success. Now many of your black friends are demanding separate schools for black children under black community control. Do you? Haverick Ellis said the sun, the moon, and the stars would have disappeared long ago had they been within the reach of predatory human hands. Situation 13. You are chairman of the board of a large industrial company. It is a bad year with profits down and manufacturing costs up. A government survey is released, naming your company as a major polluter of the environment. The report also states that the company is not in violation of any existing anti-pollution law. At a stockholders meeting, do you? What do you do? Calvin Coolidge said there is no right to strike against the public safety for anyone, anywhere, anytime. Actually disagree, but okay. Situation 14. Your union has voted to strike if its wage demands are not met. You are underpaid, and ordinarily a strike would be a legitimate move. However, you are a policeman, and a strike would be illegal. Do you? John Stuart Mill wrote, a person may cause evil to others not only by his actions, but by his inactions. In either case, he is justly accountable to them for the injury. Situation 15 reads, from the window of your house you see two men viciously beating another man. You call the police, but no patrol car arrives. As the beating increases in viciousness, do you? What do you do? What do you do? The book of Genesis. Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. Situation 19. As a member of the jury in a murder trial, you have concurred in the unanimous verdict of guilty. Testimony in the case has convinced you that the crime was a particularly brutal and senseless one. Now, under the laws of your state, the jury must decide on a penalty. As a jury member, you have only two choices: death penalty or life imprisonment. William Shakespeare wrote, oh, it is excellent to have a great strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant. Situation 16. You are a small man with a large talent for karate. You never look for trouble, but the time it has found you. On the bench, the traditional muscle-bound bullying kicks sand in your face. When you rise to protest, you're shoved back down in the sand. Do you? What you do? A.H. Clough wrote, "Thou shalt not kill, but need not strive officially to keep alive." Situation 17. A series of strokes has left an elderly relation completely paralyzed. There is no hope for recovery for the rest of their life. He will be a semi-vegetable. Now with a blockage in his windpipe, he must have an operation or he will die. As his only living relative, you must give your consent before the operation can be performed. Do you? William Shakespeare wrote, "To be honest, as the world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000. Situation 18. You are in the only supermarket in your ghetto neighborhood. As usual, the prices are higher and the quality lower than the stores in better areas. Checking out, you pay for your purchases with a $10 bill. The clerk makes a mistake and gives you change for a 20 for once. You are ahead in your dealings with this store. Do you?" William Shakespeare wrote, "Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more, men. We're deceivers ever." Situation 20. As a frontline trooper in the sexual revolution, you see neither marriage nor consistency in your immediate future. However, the object of your current affection is beginning to make marriage noises. You are enjoying things as they are and have no intention of changing your relationship. As your partner hence becomes less and less subtle, do you? Pope Pius the 9th or 11th, whatever, XI, the family is more sacred than the state. Situation 21. Standing by your bedside, smelling of alcohol, your son tells you he has had a bad accident on the way home from a party. He has knocked a pedestrian down and driven off in a panic. As far as he knows, no one saw the accident. He has no idea whether the victim is alive or dead. He begs you to tell him what to do. Do you? You do. Herman Dosselbaum, where the end is lawful, the means are also lawful. Situation 22. You are an honest politician. That seems like an oxymoron, but okay, maybe you are. You are also a reformer backing the organization candidate in a tough primary fight. Your opponent is both corrupt and efficient at dirty politics. His personal attacks and mudslinger are losing you points in the straw polls. Your staff preempts you with ammunition and advises you to counterattack in kind. Do you? Rudyard Kipling wrote, "All the people like us are we, and everyone else is they." Situation 22. You are a classic textbook liberal. Libertarian. No, I am as conservative. This might be hard to answer. From your pleasant suburban home, you have fought the good fight. Now the value of that home is threatened by a proposal for land zoning changes that will allow the building of low-cost, high-density public housing in your area. This could mean that many families would be able to escape from city slums. It could also drive the worth of your property way down. Do you? Well, I know what current liberals do. They do what they want you to do. What they say, not what they do. Anyway, Oscar Wilde wrote, "As between money and life itself, I draw almost no distinctions." Situation 24. You have saved money, often at great sacrifice, throughout your working life. Now you are retired with enough money to allow you to live comfortably and securely. When the child of a relative is kidnapped, however, you are faced with a hard decision. You are the only one in the family with enough money to pay the ransom. You know that even if you do pay, the child may not be returned. If you pay, you face the future as a pauper. Do you? Supposed to do like lean on this and then take it and go get them kidnappers back. Take your person back. Oh, is that what you're supposed to do? Yeah. Wendy Allen, take the money and run. Situation 25. While you are shopping in a large department store, your own carelessness causes an accident in which you are seriously injured. No permanent damage is done, but you incur heavy medical expenses and loss of income, unable to find witnesses to the accident. The store's insurance carrier asks you to fill out an accident report. Do you? A Persian proverb: who fathers children gives hostages to fate. Situation 26. As a doctor, you are literally and emotionally at a crossroads. You have been driving all night with serum for an isolated mountain community where plague is raging. Where plagues raging. With the death toll rising hourly, every second is vital. Suddenly, there is a call on your car telephone. Your son is down with the plague. Your house is 20 miles in the other direction from your destination at the crossroads. Do you? Old American saying, it's just that they wouldn't feel comfortable with our kind of people. Situation 27. Retirement for you means buying a house in a suburb where social life revolves around the local country club. You're invited to join and you do so gladly. You're looking forward to playing golf and making new friends. However, when you attempt to propose an old friend for membership, you are told that the club is restricted to members of your own race and religion. Do you? The Book of Genesis. Am I my brother's keeper? Situation 28. You find out that your neighbor's daughter is taking LSD when you find her on your doorstep, hysterically from a bad trip. You have known her all her life. You also know her parents are irresponsible and would make little effort to understand or straighten her out. On the other hand, possession of LSD is against the law, and reporting her to the authorities might mean jail term for her. She refuses to promise to stop. Do you? Stuart Steiner. The past remains bound in you. It lives in the present and will follow you into the future. Situation 29. You are very much in love and are engaged to be married to someone who loves you. However, you have a problem. Your fiance is very straight-laced. You have served time in prison on a criminal charge. You have reformed, but you are afraid that it will reveal your past to your fiance will end the engagement. Do you? Well, honesty is the best policy, so. Somerset Maugham. The great tragedy of life is not that men perish, but they cease to love. Situation 30. The last situation. You are a man who married early and found cause to regret it. Your wife loves you and is completely loyal to you, but you no longer love her. 15 years you have had no children, a few interests in common. You are moving up in your career and you need a woman who will help you and share your enthusiasm. You feel your wife is incapable of this, do you? What do you do? What do you do in all these situations? What do you do? Find out in the game of ethics. Play it with your friends today. Go pick up your copy. Hey, matter of fact, you don't even need to pick up a copy because I pretty much showed you everything that's in it. And from showing you everything that's in it, including the instructions, you could just copy, screenshot, whatever. Make these cards yourself. Make these rules right here. Read these rules and make them yourself. Again, everything you need to play the game is right here. All you'd have to do is screenshot them, screenshot it, and screenshot it. And use the cards, and or write the stuff down or whatever, and make your own cards. Anyway, remember that God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Jesus loves you. Jesus God. Jesus Lord. Jesus King. Jesus is your ruler. Everything. And the true ethics, real ethics, come from the Lord God through the Bible. And anything that is sinful would be unethical, and anything that would be sin that would cause sin would be anything that would stop would be the opposite of sin would be, of course, ethical. So Jesus, as a sinless, perfect man, was the most ethical man on earth. By the definition that I just gave. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to play it at home, just watch this video and pick one of the situations and pretty much answer it in the comments down below. And get ready to defend your answer, because I might have a different answer than you to it, and we might have to have a debate in the comment section. If you want to have a debate, let's do it. Later. 30 situations on ethics. Almost 30-minute long video. Which way do you go?